You guys look happy. What's your first place, right?
Why are you ducking down?
How many points do you have?
2.
2 points.
Better than
The
1?
3 games.
That's okay.
People were saying that you were hiding last podcast.
No, I was
That's
not.
all the comments.
No.
So half of the comments said, Antonio's not on, I'm not going to watch. And the other half said...
I like that comment. Antonio's not on, I'm going to watch. That means that without me, you guys are a bunch of boring dudes. That you're just you're a bunch of boring guys.
You know what the other half said?
Yeah.
The other half said you were crying because Milan can't beat Parma.
There is no crying in soccer, Paisan. There is no crying in soccer, period. Okay, and number one, it's better to start slow and finish fast. Like Sinner yesterday. He started very slow. It was down 4-1 and 2 break points, go down to 5-1, and then all of a sudden he's starting to crank. Bang, bang,
But
bang.
do you have a sinner in your team? You're sinners. You know what you guys do? You put them on the bench.
We are sinners. We have the sinner's mentality. We do a lot of peccati, you know.
Win a game,
you guys gonna suffer. You guys gonna suffer. Just give it time. Just give it time. Okay.
Gotcha. Well, we'll see. In the middle of this podcast, we're gonna give finally our official predictions of where we think the top 7 will be in Serie A. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna be in Champions League? And then who's just gonna miss out? Because we said it's tough to predict before the transfer market ends. And I think we've seen you got to end the transfer market before the season starts. I really don't like this back and forth of which players are staying, which players are going. It's not good for the team. It's not good for the fans. I don't like it. But that's a whole nother topic for another video.
It's hard, but because you don't want to handicap the league if other leagues are going to have the window open till a certain date.
It should be a FIFA thing, no? Or a UEFA thing?
Well, it's not. It's by each soccer federation. A lot of the European teams agree to it, but for example, Saudi Arabia was 3 days later. Belgium is still open. Turkey is still open. So it really depends on the football federation. But because again, if you do it, let's say August 15th, then you're just putting yourself in a
True. It's got to be unanimous. At least the top 5, though. Did you guys see Osimhen? He found the team. Galatasaray. If I told you 2 years ago that he was going to play for Galatasaray, what would you say?
Get out of here.
Listen, the fact that we've been talking about Osimhen is not one of these greatest player over there.
He won
It was overrated. So what?
No,
He's overrated. I think they
What
put
if he
out,
signs for Milan? Best in the world.
Listen,
I love him.
Listen. They overstretched themselves with this transfer clause of $130 million, 120. You know that the guy's not worth that money. Not even worth 70 million. So now they extend his contract by 1 year, and they transfer him to Galatasaray because they didn't want to be sitting on a bench and collecting money.
And they got the salary covered by Galatasaray.
Yeah, that's all. That's it.
What a mess. It's got to be. This is fumble on the agent and on Napoli.
It looks like Osimhen fired his agent.
Did he?
Yeah, Roberto Calenda. That's what reports have.
Well, yeah, you got to fire your.
Pete, maybe we can.
You
have
ended up at
you,
Galatasaray. All due respect to them, but this is a player that should have been playing at a top champion. He said after winning the Scudetto, my next goal is to win the Champions League. You're going backwards. Galatasaray doesn't even play in Champions League.
The thing was that the team that was interested was Chelsea, and they didn't even know what the hell they were doing because they have 39 players on their roster. I think by now, hopefully it's a little bit less, but they have 6 goalkeepers.
That's crazy.
Chelsea.
Wow.
So I think he got caught up that it was the wrong team. Maybe
I think he wanted
looking
PSG
to poach
too.
him. PSG, they never looked like they were making a serious enough offer. I think the 130, I thought, to be honest, it's just a buyout clause. It doesn't mean anything. It's more so just that if you have the buyout clause, you don't have to negotiate with the club. And Napoli purposely put it that high.
But it didn't work out.
Yeah, but I think it was a 5 million discrepancy. Like that was the what was reported for the Saudi Arabian team and Chelsea. It seemed like there could have been issues with his salary requests. So Napoli knew they weren't going to get the 130. The only thing is they should have maybe played their cards a little bit better. But it was a failure, I think, all around. And I think certain people thought, okay, maybe within crunch time, we're just going to be able to just make it happen and everything is going to fall into place. And it didn't. Now, Galatasaray, they need a striker. Icardi's injured. So this guy comes in. I think if he's able to score 20 goals in Italy, he can put up those numbers again.
I don't think he even makes it to June. I bet you in January he's...
Listen, I don't know. He seems to give problems a lot with Napoli, also with the national team, with Nigeria. There's been videos of him.
What the hell? The thing
going
is,
out
the
and
thing is, nobody wins from this. For me, you should have just been training with the team the entire time. Train, act like you're going to play for Napoli. If you got to stay one more year, then okay, you
That's
stay
it.
one more year.
That's it.
And you work with Conte and you try
Right.
to get your value up because
I think
like
even-
this, everybody lost.
Conte even didn't want him, but
Yeah,
Was it really
after,
Conte?
after all of this saga, of course you don't want it because
Conte said the first day that he arrived, the club
clear.
told me there's two different problems. He said Kvara, we can control. Osimhen, we already promised that we were going to leave him. So it seemed like right away from the get-go, Conte knew he couldn't work with Osimhen.
yeah. And I think also that was a reason why he didn't want him to come back into this roster, where he's like, listen, you're out, you're not part of our plans, and that's it. Because even for Napoli, they lose out potentially on a transfer fee. The only thing I could say is that because he plays as a 9, there's so few 9 out there. So if he does end up scoring 20, 25 goals Galatasaray, someone's going to put money. Someone's going to put 60, at least 60.
what makes you think that Icardi is going to come back from his injury and Icardi is going to be sitting on the bench just because Osimhen has scored?
Listen,
Has
Osimhen-
won? It's not going to happen, believe me. I think Icardi has done very well last year in
did.
Galatasaray. So,
Mertens is there too.
There's a lot of former Capocanoniere that are in the team. Dzeko went to Turkey. Ciro Immobile
Fenerbahce, yeah.
is in
Besiktas.
Turkey. What would you
Montella
say?
is coaching.
Icardi.
Montella is coaching.
And now
International
Osimhen.
team.
Mertens too.
They pay good contracts, and it's not like you're going to. It's not a top 5 European league, but it's not like going to Saudi or going to MLS.
Right.
Like you're still at least in the conversation. Galatasaray doesn't play in Champions League, but you play in Europa League. Like you're at least within the mix. So
You got Besiktas too, right?
And the fan bases are
Immobile.
insane. I don't know if you saw
That's
Osimhen coming down
3
from
o'clock
the
in the
airport.
morning.
Yeah.
these guys are waiting for them. Anyway, not to go off on a tangent on
That's
this.
too much.
Let's talk about the Serie A and the headlines. Every conversation, every journalist, every newspaper, Furlani has to answer a million questions, all about the same thing. We've got a lot of different perspectives
Let
here.
me answer the question
They-
for you. I
let-
know.
let me
but
set the stage for everybody.
Okay, set the stage.
Leao and Theo Hernandez left off of Milan's team to play against Lazio. Still in search of your first win of the season. Both of them didn't do well against Parma, but they were not the only ones who didn't do well against Parma. Fonseca decides to leave them off of the team. He subs them both on. Leao scores, I think, seconds into it. But there's this image of the two of them that go off to the side during a cooling break, and they're very far away. They're on the complete opposite side of the field when the rest of the team is doing a team meeting and Fonseca's talking to them. Leao and Theo obviously came out saying, oh, no, we just came in. We didn't really need the water. We were just staying off the side. But the image looks really bad. And people have taken it in many different ways.
All right, I come
Go
in,
for it.
right? Okay. In Italy, we have something that's been un detto, we say like a proverb that says, quando il gatto manca, I topi ballano. So when the cat is not around, the rats, they dance.
The mice.
The mice is whatever. The topi, the mice, they dance. Okay, what was the cat? Where was the cat? The cat is Ibrahimovic, Zlatan. Zlatan was not at the game. So whoever did what, and you guys are really, really capitalizing and drooling all of those images of Theo Hernandez and Leao. Oh, thank God we have problem on AC Milan. Look what's going on. You're not going to win like that. It's not going to happen. First of all, there was nothing wrong with what they did because of they were sitting on the bench until 1 minute before the cooling break. So it's not that they were sweating while they were sitting around. So what's the only thing that I can see that it was wrong, that they were not on the group listening to the direction of the coach before coming
Yeah.
in. Other than that, there was
But that is the problem, no?
that was not a problem. That is a problem. Actually, Theo Hernandez came publicly saying, hey, by the way, there is no problem over here. We were not playing. We were just getting ready to play. We were not very close to the group while this has happened. The image is not great, but nevertheless, this is my explanation. Just take it for what it is. End of the story.
There's
Now
a
you
video of
guys-
Tammy Abraham going over and saying, guys,
so
come over.
what?
and,
Tammy Abraham is a nobody. He just came into the team right now. Tammy Abraham is not the leader of the team. Tammy Abraham is just starting from below zero. He was lucky enough to touch the ball for Leao to do the follow up and score. But other than that, Tammy Abraham right now, don't even put him on the equation.
Theo
Relax.
and Leao both were not in the starting 11 in an important game.
They didn't play well. They didn't play well.
They came in the 70th minute.
Listen. Let me remind you
So
something.
those are two of very, very, those are your best players. Let's put it that way. Those are your best players, and both of them are not playing. So listen, I'm not here to question Fonseca.
Yes,
maybe
you are.
Maybe it's I'm saying maybe it's also a message to them as players and as leaders of Milan that, hey, you have to follow my lead. The cooling break, Furlani came out. Why did Ibrahimovic come out? Why didn't Ibrahimovic come
was
out?
not
Doesn't
there.
matter. The
had a
images
prior
are clear. The images are clear. So you could always come out the next day or the following day.
Ooh.
So what I'm saying is
Yeah.
don't make it seem like it's nothing. Because the cooling break, if it was just a legit water break and everybody just goes back to play, then it's one thing. But all the players know that when they come in, they're listening to the directions, they're with the team, and that is important. And if there's another component of a player coming over and calling, even if it's the ball boy, there's a little bit of a respect that is needed, I think, to Fonseca.
Listen.
And obviously, this is all because Milan's not doing well. If Milan's doing well, no one cares.
Listen.
Oh boy.
I'm sure the leadership has talked already. They already have had a conversation. I know you guys, you like to steer the garbage because the more you steer it, the more it smells. There is no smell over there.
Anton knows about that.
Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. As much as you like enjoying these controversies going on, you're not gonna get any extra.
So did you like that he sat them on the bench to start? If we move past that.
Yes. Let me remind you.
But don't you think it's kind of a lose-lose situation?
No.
Because no matter what, let's say you guys...
Let me explain to you why. Okay. When Sacchi started to coach AC Milan, talking about 15 years ago, all right?
More.
A little bit more.
35 years.
Some of the player were not happy with the coach.
He's messing with you again.
You know what Silvio Berlusconi did? He went down to the locker room and said, "Gentlemen, let me just remind you of something. I hired Sacchi to be the coach. Wherever he says, goes. So if you're happy, you're welcome to stay over here. You follow the direction. If you're not happy, pack up your shit and get out of here."
Let me ask you one question. Do you
End of the
think
story.
ownership has that much confidence that Fonseca is the Sacchi?
Yes.
You think so?
Yes.
Do you
Yes.
have a lot of confidence in Fonseca at this point? I know it's very early. It's 3 games in.
Yes.
Besides the results, the
Yes.
style of play, and maybe the being naive in not fixing some of the issues.
It's not, Fonseca didn't make any mistakes. The defensive mechanisms are not oiled enough right now to produce the effect that Fonseca is expecting from the team. They are all over the places. Theo Hernandez on first place. I always said it. To me, Theo Hernandez is a spectacular
Okay, but he didn't
winger.
start.
It's not a defender.
But he didn't start against Lazio,
It
and you guys were down
doesn't
2-1.
matter.
You were down 2-1, so it's not Theo Hernandez.
Okay.
So you still had those same
So
defensive issues.
we
You still
need-
conceded 6 goals the same way.
We need time.
You need time.
We need time. That's all.
All right.
Just we need the time, and we'll fix our own thing.
I'm not gonna. Sorry.
No. I didn't have anything. I just
Nine.
think I feel like Fonseca kind of shot himself in the foot by not really starting those two because he made it seem like he had leverage when in reality he really didn't. Started off 3 games and none of them with a win. So it's putting himself and now it's looking the rest of the team on a hot seat because it shows like he doesn't really have the locker room at the end of the day.
I don't like to jump to conclusions. I try not to as best as I can. Besides the results, it's just the performances of making the same mistake consistently. I watched this Milan do this last year where you get caught out with those fullbacks, with the high line. And my thing is, if anybody who watched Milan last year saw how fragile they were defensively. So day one, the thought process should have been like, how do I limit this in the best possible way? And then you bring in, and again, still too early to judge, Emerson Royale. But to me, I told you, I didn't have confidence that you fixed that issue. And it's still there and it's glaring. 6 goals the same way, all down the right back side
From the left.
with the cross in.
And the way Emerson defended, he looked worse than the Calabria out there. You can say what you want, but he was like jogging back. He got beat so easily. It was like,
How do you fix that?
What's going on?
And also the lack of desire, because I get that Fonseca's team, it's a high press team. He wants to win the ball out. The counter press is very important. They want to win the ball back a few seconds after they lose it to stop that from happening. But I don't see that same desire from everybody to win the ball back quickly.
Listen,
There's not that spirit of sacrifice.
Listen, when the defense get caught high, it's because the midfielders, they're not doing the job that they're supposed to do. Okay? So it's not just the defense. The whole team, it's not running on the 6th cylinder the way they've been asked to run. So Theo Hernandez is not catching back. They always behind the offensive line of the team that is countering on AC Milan. You cannot really be blaming all on the defense. I'm just telling you, the time is going to fix things.
Okay.
So the midfielder, they're not doing they're not doing their job to me. And the offensive line is not tracking back when we don't have a possession. And what they do, what I've been noticing is on this kind of a messy situation that we've been having, is that many times they just go over the midfielders and then just put the ball over the defense, the AC Milan defensive line, and you see the winger just overtaking either Theo on the right hand side or Emerson Royal on the left hand
So
side.
how long is the leash for Fonseca? Because I do agree with you. I think it still is too early. I already admitted my concerns.
At least to Christmas. Give it to Christmas.
Really that far?
In the next 3 games, you have Venezia,
Yeah.
you have the derby,
Yeah.
which you've lost 6 derbys in a row, and they need to put a good showing.
Fonseca didn't lose 6 derby.
No,
But
I'm
Milan-
the team.
Okay.
In those 2 games, if you don't get a win,
Oh, we're going to get a win.
I'm just saying, if you didn't, would that be the point?
No.
Because against Venezia's got to be a win. It's got to be a statement win. And then you need a good performance in the derby.
But it's a statement win.
a convincing.
Yes, convincing. Not
Like
last
what?
second coming back and scoring a goal.
Like you guys won
you
against
win
Roma the other day, Sunday.
Yeah, we're focused on you or focused on...
No, I mean, what's a convincing win? A win is a win.
Juventus is 7 points.
A win is a win.
You don't have a win.
Doesn't matter.
You don't have a win.
Doesn't
You
matter.
have no wins yet. That's my point.
We will talk when the time comes.
I agree. I'm not- I agree.
Yeah.
So ultimately, the conversation with Milan is they haven't fixed what was broke last season, and that's the defense.
A lot of talk.
And the ball over the top, you have to be humble enough to tactically prepare for that if you feel like that's something that's going to hurt your team. So, that you can't use the excuse, we need time. You used to say about Sarri, forget about time. So this is the same conversation here, I think, where it's either the team starts waking up or forget it.
Yo, listen to me, Paisan. Let me
Didn't you say
something.
that? You used to say that about Sarri.
Your time, it's different from my time. Sarri, he needed 2 years. We're talking about here 2 games over here. 2, okay?
Three.
All right.
But it's not.
All right, so
I know it's not
let me
conclusive.
just
I'm not
say-
saying.
We're just addressing our concerns and saying, how do you
Oh,
fix that?
I love that you're concerned. I love that. Oh, you look so concerned. I'm telling you. Oh, look at that! Look at the
so
sweat
nice,
coming
so
out.
nice
Oh my
of that.
God! Let me tell you something. This is the way
I thought they would have started better.
Okay.
I thought they would have
So
started
do I.
better.
So do I.
So did Fonseca.
So listen to me. This is the way you fix the problem. I know Fonseca has been watching this. You have to make the midfielder attack the ball possession more harder and harder and harder. Because if you do not put a pressure on the midfielder or the people that they have the ball, you're not going to get the game going for yourself. So it's the midfield that is not doing the job. And as a consequence, the defense gets caught. So the midfielder is, to me, is problem number 1. It's not a problem. It's something that needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
So once you address that thing, believe me, everything is going to flow. And, the time, like you said, the Sarri and all the stuff, we don't need 2 years to fix our problem. By next week, you're going to see things way better.
I hope so.
Anto, by the way, there's some people saying you put a curse on Milan when you met them before the
that? Who said
Many
that?
people. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I just let the trash be. You're steering trash.
No,
too.
I'm just repeating what
It's
our,
okay.
our,
Hey,
our
listen,
fellow followers have been
this is a free
saying.
country. Anybody can say whatever they want. We have freedom of speech and
It's an
freedom
international
of thought.
podcast.
Yeah,
Excuse me?
Yeah, this
International
is not
podcast.
just America, Anto.
What do you What are you talking
It's
about?
not free
international.
everywhere.
It's not free
It doesn't
everywhere.
matter.
Yeah. And
But
Bada,
we're-
you think it's free?
But we're in America right now.
Okay.
Are we?
Yeah.
Okay. Where do we want to go next? Shall we go to Napoli? Napoli gave me a lot of emotions.
I'm just exhausted from this
Yeah, I know.
conversation. He's like fighting with them.
He needs a
people over
beer.
there.
I'm not exhausted.
Doing more work than Milan's midfield over there.
Yeah, Napoli, crazy game against Parma as a team. If
That
you
was
talk about
exciting,
like
yeah.
not changing a lot, the team is basically the same. And I think if Suzuki doesn't get sent off, Parma, there's no
for
way
sure.
that they're going to lose the game. My dad made a good point, though, in the group chat. He said, an experienced coach, Pecchia, it's still his second time ever coaching in Serie A, second ever season. You don't make 5 subs with 20 minutes to go, 15, 20 minutes to go,
Yeah.
something like that. Because I lost them the game. They had to put Del Prato, the center back, into the net, and then it changed. But I love Lukaku. Lukaku comes in,
Oh,
scores
God.
right away.
Yeah.
I love it.
They needed
Finally,
that.
you give Conte his men, and that's what he's going to do. Neres looked amazing. Granted, they
Another
didn't.
assist.
Granted, they didn't. They were not good the entire match. They found a way to win. But I feel like these are the moments that the energy can shift and it could start playing into your favor. They're there with 6 points. We started with the disaster season where he's complaining. They lose to Verona.
3-0.
They're right there. 6 points. And I'm telling you, once Conte gets that feeling with the team, with the players, with the stadium, Lukaku is going to be scoring goals like crazy
Yeah,
because they need
I
a number
can just-
9. I'm telling you. I'm
gonna have
telling
the
you.
calculator to just keep the counts of how many goals he's going to be scoring Lukaku. Let me tell you something.
He's got more goals than...
Your father's got a point, but not a great point. Okay, first of all, what's the likelihood for a goalkeeper to be
he was on a yellow.
Doesn't matter. What is the
He was on a
likelihood?
yellow.
It's not high. So he happened. So it was if Parma would have scored all their situation where they hit the post, the way to cross bars, whatever happened, we would have been talking about Lukaku right now.
That's the scenario, though.
So Parma did not deserve to lose. Actually, Parma played a better game than Napoli. Now, with all been said,
Parma
like
played,
Peter favorite line goes,
With that being said.
it's good. Lukaku scored.
I love it.
They have a momentum going for themselves.
Yeah.
Hey, God bless. So I like to see when the weather is going to start to get darker outside, and the wind and the waves they're going to start to get rougher and rougher and rougher. What Conte is going to be doing. So for now,
And they don't have to worry about a European competition either.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Conte's a very momentum style and emotional kind of coach. So when things start going his way, it could be like
agree.
a pile driver of like
Alright.
a steamroll.
I hope you're right.
Look, there's more games. There's 5
right.
teams. Inter, Juventus, Milan, Bologna, and who's the other team in Champions League? Atalanta. Those guys, they got extra games. We know with the new league phase.
That's right.
There's more matches that you have to play. That's going to drain a lot of these teams. Maybe Inter is going to be perfect because so far you guys have looked pretty good. Besides the first match against Genoa, these
What
guys
about
are-
Juventus? Juventus looks great too. Juventus looks spectacular.
Not against Roma.
Not against Roma.
Wow.
They look good against Como and Verona. But in the game, I think the game against Roma, for me, it was 2 teams that didn't really
Yeah,
work
they
out.
weren't pushing.
more
They weren't pushing
tactical.
for a one both.
I saw a tweet. It was like, imagine if this was Mourinho and Allegri. Everybody would have killed the coaches in this game. Roma didn't want to lose because every time they go to Torino, 11 out of the last 13 times they lose the game. So he didn't want to lose the match. And
Roma couldn't lose the match. They couldn't lose. No, Roma couldn't lose. De Rossi's on the hot seat.
That's true.
De
Hot
Rossi
seat?
is on the hot seat. Yeah.
How is so?
Especially, what do you mean, how so? The team has looked like,
Yeah, they
looked
haven't
terrible.
Oh, listen.
They've looked terrible. Is it, okay, he's fired after the 4th game? Maybe not. But if the results don't end up turning, he's on the hot seat because they spend money this year.
But it's
They
got a
spend
lot of
money.
new players that they need to
Doesn't-
integrate. They just arrived. They haven't undone their luggage on their new apartment.
There's
I get it.
not that much time.
I
though.
get it, but
You have to give them time.
You have expectations. You have to also versus Juventus. Okay, maybe you're allowed to lose. Maybe
Not against
not in
Empoli,
this circumstance, but not against Empoli.
But that was a big.
And the first game was Cagliari. Did they tie Cagliari?
I think
Is that the
was a
first
draw.
match?
That was a
Yeah, draw.
So those 2 games you have to win, or you have to find a way to win, even if you don't win convincingly.
have 2
you don't
points
like
out of 9.
you don't like convincingly, but you have to find a way to win.
You can't have 2 points out of the first 9. You could accept the Juventus tie if you won the first 2 games or if you won and tied, but you can't after this performance. And the thing is, some of the guys, they look Dovbik. I haven't seen anything from him.
Past 3 matches, he wasn't involved at all.
But nothing, not even physically. La Liga's top goal scorer.
Last season,
I
yeah.
expect maybe my expectations
And
were
they're
too high.
their top signing, right? For Roma.
Yeah.
For money
Yeah.
spent.
But even Sule, Dybala,
Some of those mechanisms.
they're starting too slow.
You have to try them a lot. You have to train first. How the hell are you going to just expect somebody to excel?
But he's had them now. They didn't get them. It's not like last second like some of the teams.
And also their ambitions, too. They're rumored to get Manolas and Hummels.
Yeah,
Like-
Again, Manolas?
Hummels and Hermoso.
And then,
I like it though. They need defenders.
why are you getting these old heads, though?
Hummels just played a Champions League final.
Why don't you bring up some young guys from the...
They don't have anybody.
They tried that.
You don't have
I don't like
anybody.
bringing back like 40-year-olds that are begging for a contract.
Hummels, I like Hummels.
And
I take it.
was good.
Hermoso, I take it.
Okay,
I think
Hermoso,
both
yeah, I
players
was
there.
saying that.
Manolas, I don't know. They're paying him $500K for the year. He brings some
Juan
experience.
Jesus-
He
Juan
knows that
Jesus
all
I'd
special.
rather get a young kid playing.
Juan Jesus.
But if the young kid that they have are not good.
Hearing you talking better
Hoyson,
about
what about
What's the
Hoyson?
matter?
Hoyson, when he went to
He
Roma,
must have done
he's a young
something
kid. He didn't
against-
do anything.
I don't know.
He didn't do anything.
Hoyson?
He was starting.
Hoyson, I didn't see
He was
anything from
starting.
him.
He was starting all their games.
No,
The center
I didn't think,
The Dutch?
Yeah, I didn't think it was good.
He wasn't starting all the games for Roma.
Hoyson?
He was on loan from Juve.
Yeah, but he's not a Roma player.
I get it, but I'm saying when he came, he was very young.
But
he was played. He showed
but you
his
have
colors.
to have the right player, Mike.
No,
You
I
can't
get
just
it.
say
No,
let's
no,
bring up the young
I
players.
get it, I
If they're
get
not
it.
ready,
But
well, they're not good enough.
Why are you scrambling last minute? Is
Because
my,
they didn't.
My question.
It could be that they didn't get the targets that they wanted, and so now you figure out, okay, we have Hummels, somebody that's like you said, Champions League final. He's a good player to go after. It costs you nothing. You pay his salary. Had him also same thing, another free transfer. So, ultimately, I think it comes down to what they're able to do under the circumstances, and then if there's an opportunity to go after somebody, you still go after them.
Yeah, I'm not.
They
I'm
didn't
not mad
complete
about
the
that.
roster.
I'm not mad about it. I keep saying I looked at Roma's defensive stats last year because I've always complained about Roma defensively. And I remember last year people kept coming to me and they said, oh, look how good we are with numbers. But Roma did not defend well because they had good defenders. They defended well because they defended in numbers. They put so many guys behind the ball, and that's why they defended. They didn't have individual talent. And I saw they conceded 46 goals, tied 7th. That's not good enough for a team that's trying to get to the top 4. And again, I still will see those same issues. So if you could add these experienced guys, Hermoso was a player that Inter wanted.
Yep.
Right? They give him a 3-year contract, signs on a free transfer for Atletico. I like it. Manolas, yeah, maybe Manolas is not going to work out.
It was horrible for them.
Yeah, he's a weird
one
weird
player
guy.
that I think
That's
maybe
very
just
based on
history
motivation.
being somebody.
But Roma got to figure it out quickly.
Oh, I guess
Either
his
way.
teammates with De Rossi, so maybe
Yeah.
he like hooked it up.
That's what I'm saying. They did the Greek god of Rome. What was the saying?
Something like that.
They were both
Extra
on
feta cheese on the salad, and
starting
that's
to-
it. That's all.
But whatever. Let's see what happens with that. Juventus still waiting for all the new guys to come in. That was very uninspiring. I didn't see anything. Vlahovic better be good this season. I think this season, Vlahovic is very important that if we want to see the potential that I think that the player has, because I think he has potential to be world class. World class, one of the top 3 nines in the world. This season, he needs to show it. There's no more excuse with Allegri. There's no more excuse with creativity around you. For me, it doesn't exist. He has to perform this season.
If he doesn't, what are we doing?
Then we
Son of
realize that he's
Milan.
not a player that could be world class.
This guy's going to be another
goes to Milan, Anton.
Delict. Like, you remember Delict when he first came to Delict. What happened with Delict?
He's at Manchester United.
Yeah, so Manchester. Doing what?
He played
He got
70
scored
minutes.
3 goals against Manchester United, right?
Nah, he
You're
got
gonna lose
subbed out.
3
He got
nothing.
subbed out, yeah.
Okay, he's a Manchester United. No wonder why. They're
He got a
losing
yellow
3
card and they
nothing.
took him out.
So I don't know.
I'm just fighting back after the Milan conversations
no,
before.
I'm not fighting. I don't
care about- you
Mike,
care about
I don't
the-
fight. I'm here to have a
You're
conversation.
concerned. You're concerned.
Yeah, I
about
am
it.
very
Not a-
concerned. I'm very
He's
concerned.
concerned also.
One guy that's not concerned, Milan. Not the other side of Milan, my bad. Inter.
Ooh, boy. Time to
Feel
go
good?
now.
No, we definitely feel good after the performance that we put in against Atalanta. Mind
That was
you,
crazy.
Atalanta had a lot of injuries, players out, newcomers. So I take it with a grain of salt. But
This guy, this guy.
Yeah, you can never get anything out of this guy.
but Thuram looked unbelievable. I'm just waiting. Barella obviously put a cracker of a goal. And Lautaro still hasn't scored. So once he scores, now we're really scary. We figured out the issue with the with the backup number 9. We have Taremi. We managed to keep Arnautovic as well. Like you said, we're going to be playing in multiple fronts, so we have to be able to be well equipped and ready to rotate. The team, Inzaghi, has the luxury to have been there for a long time. The players, giocano a memoria, as you said also on CBS. This is the reality. These guys, they know the movements, the third man runs. They get in the box. They can create. Wow. They're scary. Defensively also, they're. That's the beauty. That's what everybody's trying to.
That's why you're gonna.
That's what everybody is trying to accomplish.
Yeah, giocano a memoria. The same way they giocano a memoria on the Italian national team.
Scoring. First off,
giocano a memoria.
We didn't have the full Inter. We didn't have all the full Inter. Anyway.
Right.
Anyway.
Say answer my question. Yes or no?
The full Inter team didn't play.
What happened?
When Barella scored that goal, he was like, he'd never do that. He screamed.
He scored for
Right.
Okay. So. This is what every team strives for, being able to score goals at will and not allow any goals. And that's the beauty of being balanced. And Inzaghi, I think you have to tip your hat to him and what he's been able to do. And Mkhitaryan's 35.
Still going.
And he doesn't get subbed out. He subs out Barella, who's half his age. Fratesi, Zielinski hasn't even touched the field yet. So there's a lot of positives, I think, on this Inter team. Defensively, we got this kid Palacios, supposed to be big kick from Argentina. The expectations is not for him to play this year, but for him to learn from Acerbi, De Vrij. Bisek also looks decent, even although he had the handball versus Genoa. But you can tell the difference when Pavard is playing. Bastoni.
These guys at times is the furthest man forward.
Oh,
it's crazy.
It's because of Inzaghi's system and the interpreters of the 3-man backline, Braccetto, the left and right. Bastoni and Pavard are both unbelievable with their feet and the ability to hit the ball long and to cross and to go up and down the field. So everyone thinks about this 3-man defense. To have the player that can also play the ball is what makes Inzaghi ball work in a sense. What makes Inter tick is the ability for that team to rotate. Bastoni Acerbi is chasing down as a 9, chasing down.
The goalkeeper.
So everyone's kind of doing this Dutch total football in a sense, where Thiago Motta said it always with Bologna. It's about spacing, right? No longer this position, but where's the space?
Spalletti talks about that a lot too. That honestly, what I watched from Inter is some of the best football I've seen in Europe. I'm not talking about in Serie A. In Europe, you see this from Manchester City. Like, we're talking about a team that if you can go on to achieve something great, which is Champions League, this team could be remembered in history. Really, it gives me that feeling when I'm watching them. Like, my gosh, everyone understands their role. Everyone's playing to their top, and they're only getting better. Marcus Thuram looks like he's a man on a mission this year. He's clinical in front of net. I felt like sometimes last year, he was more of like the assist man. He helped create chances for everybody else. But this year, he looks like a demon. He's going for it. So what a squad. Very tough.
Two of his goals. One was a deflection of
but he's hustling. He's going after the ball.
Took the ball like that.
He's going after the ball. Inzaghi would score goals all the time like that.
Hey, listen.
You're not impressed by Inter?
Time will tell.
You're not impressed by them?
I'm not. It's not. They haven't shown me anything new. So what we have seen in the past, they keep doing it.
So that's pretty good, no?
It's pretty good. Yeah, if it's pretty good for you not to go far into the Champions League, it's pretty good for me too. That's fine. It looks pretty.
We haven't even played one game in Champions League.
Good from far, but far from good.
This is important. You guys got the toughest. You might have.
We have the toughest draw for the Italian teams,
and you were in pot 1.
It's gonna be. I don't even know. We don't even know how it works with this 36.
Did anyone understand?
No, I get
don't
it.
understand anything. Nothing.
It's a little confusing.
Nothing. I am all over the places. I was logged in. I said,
Logged into what?
I was watching the Gazzetta and I saw all of these teams and all of these draws that we have to play Liverpool, then we have to play this and that.
Yeah, there's
but
home
I
and
don't
away.
understand what's
It's
the
very
dynamic.
It's very confusing. On
We need to score one goal. If you don't score, something is gonna happen. It's not winning is not that important, but you need to score.
there's no home and away games anymore. It's just weird how an algorithm, like it's weird that a button is
Yeah,
pressed
God.
and then
Randomizes
these
everything.
teams come out. Like
Yeah.
for me, maybe
It's fixed.
maybe it's a skeptic
Fixed.
in me, but I'm like, oh, this is how you organize who you want to play against each other. How come we're playing away over here? I don't know. There's something. Maybe this is just us being stubborn to change and being old.
It's
and
not a true draw. It's
it's weird.
scrambler, whatever it's
Scramble
called.
egg.
It's like a random selection.
Yeah, random.
Maybe it's gonna be
selector.
better. Listen, I don't know. Time will tell. We'll see if it is or
There's
if it's
more
not.
games on the group phase.
Too many teams.
There's a lot of
too
games.
many
There's a
teams.
lot.
Yeah, there's a lot.
How are we adding games? Like, have we lost our minds?
It's money. It's all about
Have we
money.
Lost our minds.
About money.
The players can complain. They're going to be even more tired this season.
I saw a stat that Mbappe could play 80 games this year. He could play 80 games because Real Madrid are fighting for 7 trophies. They already won one, the Super Cup, but they're fighting for 7 trophies, 80 games, and he didn't go to the Olympics. Imagine he went to the Olympics.
He would have been done.
Guys,
That's crazy.
the players can't play this many games. It's not normal. The quality is going to go down. As much as we want to see games on every single day, at a certain point, there's a what is it? The law of diminishing returns.
Yeah.
It's not going to come back to us in good favor. I think that's the one worry I have. And that's why Antonio Conte's Napoli is going to do great because everybody else is going to be tired.
And time will tell, right, Anto?
That's right.
Any other teams that we got to talk about before we do our predictions?
Let's talk about Fiorentina.
Udinese. Oh, Fiorentina.
Listen, they're slow. All the time they start slow and then they
This
pick
you
up.
had to win at home. You had to win this game at home.
But they didn't do poorly.
Yeah, they did. They were down 2-1 against Monza.
Oh, yeah, 96
Yo,
minutes.
Monza's not an easy team.
96 minute goal since the new signing came in and scored. That's right.
Monza's not an easy team.
I don't know about that. I didn't really believe in Monza much. Your boy Maldini scored a goal
That's right.
outside the area.
Kyriakopoulos assist.
Nesta said that that his potential's untapped. He said he
Maldini.
he said he really likes him. He said he needs to be in games more. But Fiorentina, the first half defensively, again another team with the same defensive issues. I mean, do they see what's going on? It's so obvious when you've watched this team play one time. They have the same defensive fragility as last year. Monza went up one time, Juric, boom, goal. They go up a second time, boom, goal. Luckily that Keane scored when he did, otherwise it would have been a disaster. Udinese looked really good though. Udinese looked really good. Runjaic, we had question marks about him.
There's a new coach. Where is he from?
He's German, right? He's German.
Yeah, German.
Yeah. But from what everybody has said, this Udinese side has a lot more quality than they were doing last year. To think that last year they were being saved at this last day, that was not the quality of Udinese. This is a lot better players. They're a physical team. They could make it very difficult for you. They're resilient. I know they're lucky at the end that Cotrone doesn't score the goal against Como or the penalty kick, but either way. For Torino, you're at this point, it's not bad.
For
Udinese.
Udinese.
Sorry.
Yeah, they're a gritty team.
Yeah,
They're great.
Torino's another one, but Udinese, I think Pozzo, the family, came out saying like, "Hey, we need to go back to our old ways, where we're gonna have a style of play, an identity, go after the right players, and be able to push. We cannot be in relegation zone any longer." And I think that was a decision that came in, already towards the end of the season last year. And this was a coach that in Poland, right, he was a coach of Legia Warszawia. He played a fantastic football. I think he played in Champions League as well, right, Mike? They played in Champions League, so he had a very specific style of play. And I know even within the transfer window, a lot of decisions were made by him and what he was looking for as far as players, and not so much a sporting director that was in place to kind of help him.
Inler's involved now, right?
Inler is involved, yes.
Who did they replace Samardic with? Samardic was he's been he's been sold. How much was he sold, and who did they replace Samardic with?
I thought it was 20 million. 22
I don't
million.
have the
22,
Atalanta?
yeah, 20 change.
Something
yeah.
around there. They got this kid Igor Bravo from Udinese. He looks interesting. Their strategy has been to get different talents from all around the world and try to make Udinese be the spotlight for them so that they could eventually go on and sell them. And from what I've read about Runaic, because obviously I've never seen his teams play before he was here, but I read about him and I listened to what some journalists said. He's very good at building up youngsters and putting them in a good position. So that's kind of the goal of this Udinese side. And they got a big man, Lorenzo Luca, up there who maybe he's going to hit his strides and do well this season. But Torino, another one, Vanoli's team. Man, Vanolismo. They're already coming up with the word for him. He doesn't like it, though. He doesn't like it. And to think they sold 3 most important players.
Yeah.
Buongiorno, Ricardo Rodriguez, and Bellanova in the last days of the Mercato, where he said he was promised that Bellanova was not going to be sold. Yeah, guess what? Found solutions. Shea Adams comes in, doing well. Zapata gets the captain's armband, doing amazing.
Coco scores.
Coco, my gosh, was doing great in defense, but then also scores a goal for them that wins them the game. Everything's working out for Torino.
Vanoli comes from Conte staff, so
And Venturas.
We'll stick with the Conte part.
Instagram versus reality.
So
You're really saying the good things.
Yeah, he has that background, and I think also with Venezia, more importantly, he got them when they were near the bottom of the table
Second to bottom.
and
Serie B.
brought them into playoffs, and then the next year actually brought them up to Serie A. So that has a lot to. That's pretty impressive because also Serie B is one of those leagues where you might have a great first season, but the second season
Not guaranteed.
can go really, really badly real quick. Look at Bari, who were a second away from Serie A. and they risk going down to Serie
The
C.
love is endless.
I'm just making an example, not because it's Bari.
Oh my
That was the
God.
example.
You have to separate your emotions from this.
Stop
You just-
it.
I
Stop
just saying
it.
the
Why
fact.
you get so upset for
I'm
it?
not upset.
Why are
Don't
you
look
so
upset
emotional?
to you. I'm not.
Why
Why
do
are
you
you
think I'm
offended?
not picking on you?
Looks
Why are you
concerned.
offended?
Concerned is a word.
It's okay. It's your job to get me pissed off, Pete. That's okay.
It's a good job.
How much is you paying?
It's easy, Joff.
Shall we do our predictions?
Okay.
We should wait for Gaetano, no?
Don't worry. We'll ask him online. We'll ask him live. Actually, put him on the phone.
No,
Yo.
we're not gonna put him on the phone. He's
Why
gonna
not?
take-
He's on vacation.
He's gonna take 5 years to answer that one.
He's relaxing in the
He needs to write it
Caribbean.
down.
Or text him. I said, give us your prediction. He'd answer his text.
Yeah, one message.
Text him. Message him, Mike.
It'll take some time.
All right, your
We'll
prediction.
get him on the next one.
Okay. Where do we start? From the right or the left? Start from him.
Should we start with Scudetto?
Sure.
It's not obvious enough.
It's not obvious enough. It's either between the two.
You want me to go first?
Yeah,
Well,
go ahead.
also-
I'm gonna say Inter.
I like how you said like it's a wild card. I'm gonna say
Surprise.
pick a name out of a hat. Inter.
I want to hear what Antonio's gonna say.
Give it up.
Anto, what do you say?
Milan.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
First,
Yeah.
to win the Scudetto.
Yeah.
This year,
Yes.
Okay.
AC Milan.
Yes.
What's on the table?
Yes. Yo, you asked me for my prediction. That's what I give you, my prediction.
Bad prediction.
Mike,
Inter.
I really want. My heart wants Napoli.
Just say it.
My heart really wants Napoli,
Just say it.
but my brain says it will be Inter. But I wouldn't be surprised if Napoli does it.
What's Anto's brain saying?
Second place.
Go to the hospital.
Second place, Napoli. Very close to Inter. And I think there's a chance it could be an upset. But today, it's got to be Inter. Who do you have second?
Second, I have Juventus. Defensively, they haven't allowed a goal in 3 games. They look very solid in the back. I think with the players that they have, Thiago Motta is gonna work his magic. So they're gonna be very close to Inter.
I have Juventus also.
Second.
Yeah, Juventus.
Yeah,
too.
Juventus. They look good.
Juventus.
I think Motta's getting the best out of not just all the players, just the younger players too. If he's doing that good with the younger players, imagine what he does when he has a full squad at his disposal. Scary stuff.
So I'll do third since it's the team that you guys just mentioned.
Wait,
I'm gonna,
Anto, you said it?
I say Juventus.
Oh,
sir.
okay.
Juventus. I'm going to put Juventus in third place. Like I said, we got to make predictions, but my top 3, I would not be surprised if it moves in either way. I don't think Juventus can win the Scudetto. I think they could finish in second place. I think it's still a lot of time to integrate the players. They did a very good Mercato, but they also have to play Champions League. They also have to play Club World Cup at the end of the year. So it's going to be difficult for them, and it's still Thiago Motta's first year, and he doesn't have to win the Scudetto, in my opinion. So that's my top three.
Third place, Inter third.
Wow. Me, I have Napoli in third place.
Oh, that's good.
I think without being in Europe, I think that's going to be a huge thing, and Conte knows how to excel with that. And from their horrible finish last season, I think they're going to have a huge improvement. So I say top three for them, third place.
I also say Napoli third. I think this year, even although there's no European competition, it's still a phase of dealing with old habits in a sense. Because I think we've seen it also in these three games. You know, Conte usually starts off blazing, and it seems like versus Verona, you know, versus Parma. Like, these are teams that are tricky, but there's a lot better teams, I think, in this league right now. So they'll come around, but I think it's not going to be as easy as we think. And they'll still finish third. They'll finish in Champions League. I think it's a successful season. And then the next year, I think they can really, really challenge for the Scudetto.
My reason for putting Napoli so high, and I could see Juventus finishing, I could see 2 and 3 flipping for me the easiest, but I'm assuming that Inter and Juventus and the other teams that are playing in Champions League, that it's going to take something out of them, and then that's when Conte could have that motivation and push them and make them grind and only focused on one thing, and that's why they get to where they are. Not necessarily that they're the best team, because I think Inter is the best team, the way that they play and the style and the players. Sorry, fourth.
Fourth place, I'm going to put Milan in here. I think they're going to have a really slow start to the Scudetto. There's already problems. 3 games in, they haven't won. Locker room problems, apparently, and I don't think Fonseca is going to last too long, but I think they're going to end up picking up some points towards the end of the season, so top 4 finish.
Same.
I don't know, Atalanta or Milan. Those are the two that I'm really struggling to figure out who comes in fourth. More so because I think if with Atalanta, yes, they lost some of their key players, Koumainis in particular, but Gasperini's always been able to work his magic, and I think it's a team that they look good when they play and when they're on. When they're off, you see, versus Inter, they look terrible. But you know what? I'm going to give it to Milan, more importantly, because of the caliber of players that they have, but they need to fix their defense.
If Milan didn't finish in the top 4, that would be a disaster.
Yeah.
That would be really nightmare situation. For Inter, obviously, Juventus and Milan. For what they spend, you cannot be in the top 4. Who's your fourth place?
Me, I have Atalanta fourth and Napoli fifth.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I have Atalanta fifth. I think that they're started slow because it's normal. 13 players have left since June. Oh. It's very difficult. Gasperini can't make the magic every single year. This should have been the year for me that they pushed for a Scudetto, that they could have made a pact and everybody agrees to stay. But it completely fell apart between injuries, players forcing moves, players not wanting to even go to training, and then ended up saying so. Fifth place for me, Atalanta.
I have them fifth also. It's going to be tough. There's already problems now, and I think the extra game's not going to help them whatsoever. So it's going to be hard to ignite those.
I think they'll be back, though.
They will, but not good enough for top 4.
You said you're fifth, Atalanta, obviously. Sixth place, I'm going to go...
Roma.
Yeah, Roma. I'll go Roma. I thought this could have been the year.
Roma Torino for me. Roma or Torino. I'll go Roma Torino.
I'm gonna go Roma. I thought this team could have pushed for top 4 with the way that they did the Mercato at first. They started off and I was like, oh my gosh, this team is gonna do great. Slow start, but besides just the slow start, because even if they did start hot, I still would not have put them there. It's not just a knee-jerk reaction. I think the 4 teams that I mentioned, the 4 or 5 teams, they're better. They're better than them. They're built better. They have more experience. They're just better.
But they have Dybala. Dybala is back. I'm telling you. Dybala,
one player
Dybala makes a huge difference. If it wasn't for Dybala, I would have put even Roma on the 7th. But because of Dybala, I'm putting Roma
6.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have Roma 6. I think the juice is gonna run out for De Rossi too this season. Unfortunately, I feel like he gave all he can, and this team's just not sticking the way it is.
He get sacked?
I don't think he's gonna last till June.
Wow.
Unfortunately, and I love De Rossi.
6. 7th. This is interesting.
Yeah, this is.
Do I go Lazio or do I go Torino? Not Fiorentina. I don't believe in Fiorentina this year. I don't like Fiorentina. I'll go Lazio. I think Baroni does a great job. This is not a knack on Baroni. I just think with Lazio, they're always about to do something good. They finish second place. They can never build on it. This is year zero again. And I think Baroni has a lot of good ideas. There's some interesting new players. There's Tavares, the left back. My gosh, he tore up your right back, whichever one. Emerson Palmieri, Calabria, doesn't matter. Yeah. Della Bashiru looks really good too, as well in the midfield. Tati, he scored 4 goals all last year. He already scored 2 out of the shadows of Immobile. Diaz playing alongside him. He played the 2 together. I go 7th place Lazio.
I agree with 7th also. I just feel like Lotito doesn't do enough to get over that hump. I feel like he's just comfortable and he has no ambition to really fight for higher. So
I don't think that's an opinion. I think it's a fact.
I don't see Lazio 7, maybe Torino 100%. No, definitely
maybe 100%.
Torino below Lazio below Torino.
So Torino in
7th and Lazio 8.
Who do you have 7th?
Yeah, I like Torino. I would say just because of Vanoli that the team looks, but I think towards the end they're gonna develop. So, yeah, we'll stick with Torino.
yeah.
I'll put Torino 8th, and then I got Fiorentina 9th,
Yeah.
and Parma 10th.
Bottom of that high?
Yeah,
That's good.
I think they're
Fiorentina, yeah, Fiorentina 8, just below Lazio, below Torino.
So where do you have Lazio? 9th?
Yeah,
Wow.
Lazio 9th?
yeah.
Wow.
And then who's 10th?
10 to me doesn't matter.
Fair enough.
That to me
not
doesn't
wrong.
matter. Yeah,
You
it's
know,
funny how you
we're
said
talking about it
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Yeah, I have Torino, and then Fiorentina.
9th. You want to give it 10th or doesn't
Yeah,
matter?
10 doesn't really matter for
Okay.
me. Yeah,
Lazio, Fiorentina, Udinese, let's say.
Udinese, okay. Bottom 3, who's looked the worst so far?
Como,
Como doesn't look good, huh?
they look bad.
They're not gonna go back. They're not gonna go down.
They're not.
Fabregas is not gonna go down.
Who's going to go down?
Maybe Fabregas isn't going down. The team's going down.
Venezia is gonna go
Venezia.
They're
don't
also
look good
going
either.
down.
down.
Who's the
I put
third
those
one?
2. I agree. We're coming
Maybe
to
Genova
consensus,
this year. Genova because
Genoa?
Yeah, they sold a
No
lot.
way.
They sold a
No
lot
way.
of players.
That doesn't
They
Yeah,
matter.
but
sold-
They look
those
good.
guys at home, they freaking
No, they
they're
look
very-
good.
I don't know. We'll see. I just hope I'm wrong. I want Gilardino to
Cagliari
do well.
started a lot slower than I expected.
Yeah,
Davide Nicola teams, whenever he's got to start with the...
Cagliari
That's
probably.
the third team
Yeah.
going down.
Who
for
do you,
me.
who's...
I don't know.
We said Como, Venezia. Do you agree with that?
Not Como. Como they're not going down.
This guy goes to Lago di Como one time, bro.
Yeah, I guess.
Who am I missing?
Verona.
No, Verona
Empoli-
started
Empoli
great.
maybe, but-
Yeah,
I thought Verona
I
would've
would
been.
say Como, Venezia going
Verona
down.
don't look bad. They don't
Lecce
look bad
looks.
for me.
Lecce could
didn't
be another
spend any
one.
money.
I said Empoli.
Monza.
But-
Lecce looked bad.
Cagliari.
Lecce looked bad.
Yeah.
Lecce, Cagliari, and I thought Monza was going to be in the relegation battle.
No.
I
too.
think Monza's
No.
gonna make it.
I thought they were going to be.
Como is gonna stay.
Listen, let's not forget what happened last year with Sassuolo.
That was
with,
crazy. Yeah, I didn't expect that.
With Frosinone.
True.
They started off on fire.
True.
And then they
Good
went.
point. Good point.
So with the relegation battle, it's really depends on.
I put Lecce, Cagliari, and Monza. That if they're in that battle, I would not be surprised.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the third team. That's the third team for me.
Cagliari and Venezia, the 3 of them for me.
Lecce
Lecce, Cagliari, Venezia.
Venezia.
and Como. I think Como for sure.
No Como.
They didn't show me anything.
What are they gonna show you, Mike?
How to play good football.
Yeah.
Did you see their game?
He doesn't believe in
It's
convincing,
all right,
Mike.
Mike. Just give him time.
I'm concerned for them. Huh?
You can vote, you
Just
can
like they're
vote.
concerned for your
Put a
Milan.
sweat on your forehead.
I know. I'm dripping over here.
Como's gonna stay.
Okay.
Why are you so stuck
know,
on
I-
them? You have a friend over there, or they send you a jersey?
It's because they have a.
Tell me.
They have quality players,
I believe
but they haven't put it together yet.
Fabregas is gonna get it together.
I hope so. They would be nice if they stayed in Serie A.
Nice, bro.
All right, guys. That's it. Did we miss anything? I think we didn't.
Did we miss maybe a drink, a margarita,
All right,
something
that's
like that? Okay.
All right, guys.
You good at making drinks?
Making drinks? No, I could drink a drink.
Oh, I know. No.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe. We'll see you soon. Ciao, ragazzi. We'll put
Guys,
my dad's
prediction.
top 9 in the comments below. We'll pin it.